Okay, well, that was a great victory for us. We had people talking to us all week about trying to look ahead and all that, or were you worried about this, that, or the other, and I didn't see any signs of that. Our players understand how important this game is to our team and to our fan base, and I thought our coaching staff did a really good job of staying focused. And I certainly, I never had a moment where I was thinking ahead. I just know that's so dangerous. And I've coached long enough to where I can't even let myself do that. So I knew I wasn't going to be a problem. But I just thought everybody did a super job of preparing. And I thought just about every one of our units played well. Played well. It was just a good day.
Coach, can you finally talk about you got a one-game shot here
Right.
to get into the big game?
Well, the Southeastern Conference Championship, first of all, stands alone as a very important event. The chance to get back to Atlanta is fantastic, and to have a chance to win our league in any year is huge, and that means a lot to us. And what happens beyond that, of course, will be decided by the voters and all that kind of thing. But it does look like that the winner of the game, depending on what happens the rest of the day, if it is Alabama, then the winner's more than likely going to go play for the national championship. So that's something exciting to think about. But again, SEC championships are hard to come by. And bottom line is we're just excited about the opportunity to do that too.
Mark, losing the toss today, it kind of helped you? You kind of made a statement with your offense right from the get-go and get that kind of team down.
Well, it is good if you score points early. Just 7 points first drive is nothing to get them out of their plan, but it was the beginning of trying to get them out of their plan. When you get a 2 or 3 touchdown lead, and you played a lot of football, then it's tougher for them to be patient with what they like to do. And I don't think until the second half, when we got to 35, was at a time where they had to start, thinking about doing something a little bit different. But because we all know in 2008 we were up 28-12 or whatever it was, and they stayed with their game plan and did some big runs, and before you know it, they were right back in it, took the lead, and won it. So I knew it would take a lot for them to try to think about changing what they normally like to do.
So in that respect, the play by Rambo there on the goal line on the Tech's first drive, that really had to be a huge boost for you guys.
Huge. Any turnover that you get just steals a possession from them, and there aren't a lot of possessions in this game compared to other ones because they grind the clock so much, and it's hard to get off the field when they're out there on offense. It's hard, but somewhere along the way, you hope there's a turnover, you hope there's some kind of penalty or some kind of, even like when the ball got snapped over the head or whatever, you hope for those things to happen as they're methodically moving it down the field. It's hard to go, 8, 10, 12 plays, drive 75, 80 yards for a touchdown, but they're really one of the best teams in the country at doing that. One of the reasons is they're willing to go for on fourth down a lot, and they normally make it. So it's just hard to stop them without a turnover, without a penalty, without something like that, because they're so good at what they do.
Coach, you guys break the record for points in a season. How good is this offense since you've been here, and how do you think that they'll fare against the top-ranked defense like Alabama?
Well, I think they've done a very good job this year, no doubt. I mean, to break a school record is a big deal, and it's and it's 12 games into the year. Usually, nowadays they count bowl games and all that kind of thing. So to do that with still a game or 2 games out ahead of us is very good. You know, I don't even want to talk about this next game too much right now. We want to start looking at film, and then I can give you a better answer about how I think we might do.
Mark, since midway the halftime of Florida, Aaron has been incredibly efficient. Is he doing anything different or just doing what you're telling him?
Well, he's just he's a very good leader for us. He's really good at preparing himself and preparing his teammates to be able to execute what Coach Bobo wants to try to get accomplished and the offensive staff is trying to get accomplished. He does get us in the right play a lot. He gets us in the right protection a lot. And because of that, we're not just guessing up there. Sometimes if you just, I think the days of calling a play and running it and hoping you're right, I think those days are gone. I think you've got to have a way to try to see what the defense intentions are and then try to run the best possible play. And then it's still hard as heck to execute. But if you try to execute a play that really has no chance, it's just tough. But he's good at that. He's been very accurate. He's not really throwing the ball up for grabs much in his career. Certainly not much this year, but I don't know. He's doing well. I'm happy for him. It's good for us. Good for him.
Mark, you got a group of seniors who are either red shirts or being recruited when you were preseason #1 back in '08. You know, they've kind of had some struggles a couple of years, but now they're back in this opportunity. What can you say about this class and what they've done?
I'm just happy for them. They did a super job. The seniors this year, they really did want to take it in their hands. Once everybody decided to stick around, and you know, most of those guys on defense, because there really aren't many seniors on offense. It's a senior-laden defensive team, and you know, Jarvis is not a senior, but he's a fourth-year player and a third-year player here at Georgia. And I think when Jarvis said, "Let's stay," he said, "I'm staying," and he didn't necessarily tell the other guys to stay because that's not the way Jarvis is. He wants them to make their own decision. But I think when Jarvis said, "I'm staying because I love Georgia. I'm staying because I think I can get better, and I'm staying because I think we can do something big here," I think it gave everybody else confidence to stick around as well. And so when they did decide to stay, they really had a very strong vested interest in how this season went. And when Sean Williams saw it kind of slipping away, he had to say something about it. And so he steps up and challenges everybody. Made some guys mad, hurt some guys' feelings, but I think he just couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand what he was seeing. And I think everybody respected him for what he did. They might not have liked what he did, but I think they agreed with his assessment of what was going on, and then it lit a fire under the guys. So I guess the point I'm making is when your seniors are getting involved like that as leaders, it makes a big difference. And the last thing was our summer workouts were by far the best we've had because of the organization. That Murray's not a senior, but again, he's a fourth-year guy. He's already graduated from this program. But he and the other seniors and leaders divided up and said, you know, we're going to take X amount of guys per guy, and we're going to lead those groups, kind of sub-teams, subgroups. And we're going to hold everybody accountable to having the best summer workout we could possibly have. And made some good changes in the strength staff, and everything kind of came together. But it was very player-driven type of a season, which is what we hope for as coaches, and I'm just real proud of it.
You talk a lot about, Coach, about being proud for the players getting a shot. What about you? You've come pretty close. I mean, isn't this what you're in the game for?
Well, yeah, I enjoy it, but I enjoy watching them have fun, really. I mean, when we have victories, I enjoy watching them celebrate, you know. And I'll jump in there and have some fun with them too. But you know, I've lived through a couple of them, and I know it's a great time and it's a lot of fun. But am I happy? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited about the future. But I really do enjoy these young guys and these other coaches maybe that I've never experienced before. Get a chance to see what it's like.
Mark, at the Cocoa Tree, had career high 15 tackles. It must be special to have a linebacker like that with that
Right.
foot speed to get out on
Yeah.
those wide pitches and everything.
Exactly. I mean, he's kind of just tailor-made for this type of a defense, and he can run sideline to sideline, and you got to have somebody who can do that to make those kind of hits. And of course, there was some up the gut that he got involved with as well, but a lot of the scheme is for our defensive ends to stop the dive, and not so much the middle linebacker. The middle linebacker was actually able to, play a lot of the quarterback and pitch stuff, and so for him to be able to fly like he can fly, it's just hard for them to get the edge. Early in the game, their speed sweeps, they're doing a good job of getting the edge. And a couple options, got some good yardage, but overall, Jarvis's speed, Ogletree's speed really was a huge factor.
Mark, can you talk about the offense since the Florida game, just how explosive you guys have been?
Okay, I'll do that. I think they've done great. I'm proud of them. Coach Bowles had a good plan week by week. And I don't know, we've got a tremendous camaraderie, not only with the offense, but with the defense as well. We've got coaches that really get along with each other, guys that just believe in each other and work well together. Our offense and defensive coordinators get after each other in the spring and the fall, but once we're on the same team, they really, I think they admire each other as far as how diligent they are and what good coaches they are, and our players believe in them. So we just got a team that really is enjoying each other's company, and we're just working hard together. It's been good.
Could you see this early in the season that you'd be where you are today, that the team had that potential?
Well, I saw that we had I knew we had the potential. I just didn't know if I was going to see it come to fruition. It was, especially defensively, we just started slow. We just were not playing with the edge that we're playing now. And there's some reasons that you could say why, but I'm thankful that we did turn the corner, and now we're playing the kind of ball that you got to play to have a chance this time of year, and so hopefully we can keep it going. Excuse me.
When you think earlier about the seniors, what was the emotion of this day like, especially before the game with that ceremony?
Well, quite frankly, it went too fast. I should have slowed down. We have a group of guys, we're trying to take pictures, and it went too quick. And when we were done, I looked at the clock, and we were still 7.5 minutes before the game, so we just went too fast. I went too fast through everybody, and I just apologize for that, and I wish I'd have taken more time with each family. But I felt like in years past, sometimes it was a rushed event. We're trying to get the game started and all that kind of deal. And our gala, our senior awards banquet is a phenomenal event, and that's when we can really take time to honor these guys. But if I had to do it over again, I'd have taken about another 30 seconds per group, or another 15 seconds or whatever per family, because I felt like I rushed through it too much. But I think everybody enjoyed it. It is an emotional time. I think for the parents too, they're like, man, this is over already, because they usually have, a lot of times they have more fun than the players do, just enjoying their boys playing for the Dogs. And like I said before, once a dog, always a dog, but it's a little bit different once your son moves on. It's you don't get the free tickets anymore.
Hey, Mark, people around the league have said that you guys are bigger physically, that you had 6'1" corners, 220-pound running backs, that you're a bigger, more physical team, more like LSU, Alabama. How did that happen in the last several years?
Well, you recruit it. You try to recruit guys that have certain size, height and length of arms, and there's certain parameters you're trying to go for. But there's still some really talented guys that may not fit the mold just right. But that's part of it. The other part of it is how we develop them here. I think we do as good a job as anybody with our strength and conditioning, our nutrition, how we go about our business. But this defense is very grown up. I mean, there's a bunch of seniors on this defense. They've had 3 years. Most all of them have had at least 3 years in the system. And, you know, if you watch some teams and, or if you throw our freshmen out there, as talented as they are, well, they look skinny compared to these guys, because they haven't had enough time in our system to grow and mature. So, I think it's a combination of the guys we're targeting and then what we do with them once they get here.
Did you change anything with strength and conditioning to get bigger physically?
Well, we have, I just think we got pretty big kids, you know, you signed some guys with good frames and you got something to work with, but certainly our strength and conditioning staff has done a good job, but, you know, we got some old school, good old hardcore weightlifting stuff that puts the muscle mass on the guys, but we got Sherman in here that is our speed guy, and Justin came in with some mixed martial arts stuff, and you know, so it's a good combination and variation of ways to train. I think it's been really good for our guys.
Coach, how would you say your team is performing going into this year's SEC title games as opposed to last year's against LSU? Any kind of comparisons at all you can make? The team as a whole, how you're playing right now going to next week
I
as opposed to
don't
last
even
year?
remember how we were playing a year ago going into that game, but I felt like we had a good chance of winning it. We just didn't play very well in the second half, obviously. But I mean, it just matters how we play this Saturday, really.
Just what I was just going to ask you, what are the logistics this week? Anything different in terms of preparation? Do you
Really
do every
can't.
effort to make it just the same?
Well, we can't really do much different. It's a 20-hour rule. We're in class. You know, last week there was no class. We had the ability to do really whatever we wanted to do with time, but we really can't vary much off of our system the way it's set up, because we feel like every minute is precious. Everything we do has a purpose, whether it's meeting or whether it's, you know, field time or weight room time. I mean, the countable minutes are all accounted for, and we think every single one of them is very important. So I don't even know what we can do to change it.
One more question, anybody? All right, go ahead.
Given the nature of Tech's offense, as you mentioned earlier, kind of being this grinded out scheme, did you feel like this was about as efficient as you guys have done on offense this season, as far as possessions are concerned?
As far as that, well, you know, early on we did. I think we were scoring. We scored every drive in the first half except the one, and we were scoring touchdowns. That's what you got to do. You got to score touchdowns. If we just kick field goals, those first drives that we scored touchdowns, it'd have been a very close game, and you know, who knows how the outcome would have went. But when you're scoring points and the points are touchdowns, it gave us the separation. So that was really good.